Hi, hello everyone! I'm Toshi from Japan and tourist guide for foreigners. In this video, I'll show you
Japan isn't what it seems. 8 truth about living here. Japan is often described as a perfect country by tourists. It's clean, safe, the food is amazing, anime and games are loved worldwide, people are polite, and lately, with the weak yen, it feels unbelievably cheap and good value. And honestly, as a tourist, that image is mostly true. Japan feels easy, comfortable, and almost stress-free. But after living in the United States for 2.5 years, traveling to over 75 countries, and then coming back to Japan, I felt something was different. Japan looks very different when you stop visiting and start living here. Today, I want to talk about a side of Japan that most tourists never see. And just to be clear, this video is not about saying Japan is good or bad, or better or worse than other countries. Japan is simply different. Everything I share comes from real experiences, mine and those of people who have actually lived here. Plus, I also offer guided tour in Japan, travel itineraries based on trip duration and area, and recommendations for unique cultural experiences.
You can find more information in the description below. So, let's get started.
Number 1 is why Japan feels perfect to tourists. Japan feels almost perfect when you visit as a tourist, and there are very clear reasons for that. First of all, this country is incredibly well designed for short stays. Trains run on time, stations are clean and organized, and even if you don't speak Japanese, signs, maps, and announcements guide you almost everywhere in major cities. It's very hard to get truly lost. Hotels are clean, quiet, and extremely efficient. Convenience stores are everywhere, open 24 hours, and sell fresh, good quality food. Even at 2 in the morning, you can easily get a hot meal, a drink, or daily necessities without stress. For many travelers, this feels almost unreal. Service culture is another huge reason. Restaurant staff are polite, patient, and never rush you. Even in crowded places, people rarely raise their voices. When something goes wrong, staff often apologize first, even if it's not their fault. As a tourist, you constantly feel safe, respected, and taken care of. Tourist routes are also carefully optimized. Cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka concentrate transportation, food, and sightseeing spots in very accessible areas. You are shown Japan's best, most polished version, and if you look lost, many people will still try to help you, even if their English is limited.
Cleanliness, politeness, and convenience come together so smoothly that, in a short trip, it feels like this is all of Japan.
Number 2 is, when living in Japan feels different. But once you stop visiting Japan and actually start living here, small cracks slowly begin to appear. At first, you may not even notice them. Everything is still exciting. But once daily life starts, those cracks become harder to ignore. Simple things suddenly feel complicated. Opening a bank account can take hours, with paperwork entirely in Japanese. Renting an apartment often requires a guarantor, extra fees, and strict rules about trash and neighbors that are not always clearly explained up front. Even signing a phone contract can feel overwhelming if you're not fluent in Japanese. Work culture can be another shock. Long hours are normal, even when there isn't much work to do. You might feel guilty leaving on time, even after finishing everything. People often stay late, not because they are productive, but because everyone else is still there. Social life feels different too. People are polite, but emotional distance is real. Making close friends takes time, and many relationships remain surface level. You might have several polite dinners together, then suddenly months pass without any contact. Rules exist everywhere, and many are unspoken. You're expected to know them without being told. If you break one, no one explains it directly. The atmosphere just changes, and you're left trying to figure out what went wrong. I've explained these unspoken rules in a previous video, so be sure to check it out. Japan is still safe, clean, and beautiful.
But living here shows you that comfort often comes with quite pressure, and that pressure slowly shapes everyday life.
Number 3 is why foreigners quietly burn out in Japan. Many foreigners in Japan don't fail loudly. Instead, they slowly burn out, quietly. From the outside, everything looks fine. They have a job, a routine, and a normal daily life. But inside, stress keeps building little by little. One reason is constant self-control. You're always aware of how loud your voice is, how much space you take up, and whether you might bother someone. On trains, there are unspoken rules about staying quiet. Even small actions, like answering a phone call or talking in a restaurant, require constant awareness. Over time, that mental tension becomes exhausting. Another reason is emotional isolation. Japanese society values harmony, which often means avoiding deep or uncomfortable conversations. When you're struggling, people rarely ask directly if you're okay. Support exists, but it's indirect and easy to miss if you're not used to it. Language adds another invisible weight. Even after years of studying Japanese, expressing emotions, humor, or frustration can be difficult. You can explain your work, but not always how you feel. That gap can create loneliness, even when you're surrounded by people. Work pressure plays a role too. Expectations are often unclear. Feedback is indirect, and praise is rare. Even when you're complimented, it can be hard to tell how sincere it is. You're expected to read the air, adjust yourself, and avoid standing out. None of this feels dramatic at first. There's no clear breaking point. Stress accumulates slowly, until one day you realize you're simply exhausted.
That's how burnout happens in Japan.
Number 4 is why some stay and others leave Japan. After the initial excitement fades and quiet stress sets in, foreigners in Japan usually begin to split into two groups, those who stay and those who leave. The difference isn't talent, language ability, or how much they love Japan. It's how they adapt. Those who leave often try to live exactly like locals. They follow every rule, suppress their opinions, and avoid standing out at all costs. At first, this looks respectful, but over time, it becomes suffocating. They slowly lose their sense of self, and everyday life starts to feel heavy. Those who stay take a different approach. They learn the rules, but they don't disappear inside them. They build their own balance. They speak Japanese, but they allow themselves to be imperfect. They respect the culture, while still protecting their own values and boundaries. Community is another key difference. Long-term residents usually build support systems. That might be other foreigners, open-minded Japanese friends or partners, or both. They have places where they can speak freely, complain honestly, and relax without performing. Work also matters. People who stay often find flexible environments, international teams, or careers where results matter more than hierarchy. They stop chasing approval and start designing a life that actually fits them. Staying in Japan isn't about enduring more. It's about adapting smarter. When Japan becomes a place you live with, not against, staying starts to feel natural.
That's why some people leave and others quietly build their life here.
Number 5 is the Japan tourists never see. Tourists and residents live in two completely different versions of Japan. As a visitor, Japan feels smooth, polite, and unbelievably convenient. Trains run on time, staff greet you with smiles, and everything seems perfectly organized. It feels almost flawless, but daily life shows a very different side. Tourists rarely deal with paperwork. Residents do. You spend hours filling out forms, visiting city offices, and navigating systems that still rely on fax machines and handwritten documents. Even simple tasks, moving apartments, opening a bank account, changing a visa, can leave you exhausted. Tourists experience politeness. Residents experience silence. Neighbors rarely talk. Problems are often avoided rather than discussed. At work, people may smile through disagreement, leaving you unsure of where you truly stand. This emotional distance is almost invisible to visitors. Tourists enjoy the beauty of 4 seasons. Residents deal with their difficulties. Summers are brutally humid. Winters can be cold indoors. Typhoon alerts and earthquake warnings aren't dramatic moments. They're part of everyday life. Tourists feel welcome everywhere, and that's usually true. Residents, however, learn where they're accepted and where they're quietly excluded. Some apartments refuse foreigners. Some jobs have invisible limits. Being a foreigner can affect how far you're allowed to go. Tourism shows Japan at its best. Living here shows Japan as it really is.
And once you understand that difference, your view of Japan changes completely.
If you would like a personal guide in Japan or need recommendations for travel plans and cultural experiences,
Please contact me from the link in the description section.
Number 6 is life in Japan really worth it? After seeing both the good and the difficult sides of Japan, the real question becomes simple. Is Japan actually worth living in? The honest answer is it depends on what you value. If you prioritize safety, clean cities, reliable public transportation, and everyday convenience, Japan can feel like one of the best places in the world to live. Crime is rare. Public spaces feel safe. Many people, especially women, can walk alone at night without fear. Even without a car, daily life runs smoothly and predictably. But if you value flexibility, direct communication, and personal freedom at work, Japan may feel restrictive. Unspoken rules exist everywhere. Social expectations are strong. Standing out, speaking too directly, or trying to change systems is often discouraged rather than rewarded. Japan is economically stable, but it's not fast-moving. Salaries rise slowly. Ambition doesn't always lead to quick results. For some people, that stability feels comforting. For others, it feels limiting. Long-term life in Japan is comfortable, but emotionally complex. Many people stay for quality of life, not because each day feels exciting. Japan isn't a place that constantly pushes you forward. It's a place that quietly supports you. So is Japan worth living in? For some, absolutely.
For others, it's better experienced for a short time than left behind.
Number 7 is who this country is really for. Japan is not a country that fits everyone, but for certain types of people, it fits extremely well. If you like structure, routines, and clearly defined social roles, Japan can feel very comfortable. You usually know what's expected of you. Life feels predictable, stable, and organized. If you value harmony over confrontation, Japan may suit you. People who prefer avoiding conflict, reading the room, and adapting quietly often adjust more smoothly. Here, patience, consistency, and self-control are rewarded more than speed or boldness. Japan also works well for people who are comfortable with anonymity. You're rarely asked to explain yourself. You're not often criticized loudly, but you're also not openly praised. For those who enjoy a quiet, independent life, this can be a positive thing. However, Japan can be difficult for people who constantly seek recognition or rapid personal growth. There is a strong culture of not standing out. If you're looking for fast career progression, open debate, or expressive self-promotion, frustration is common. Progress tends to be slow, and change happens quietly, if it happens at all. Japan is best suited for people who can accept limits without feeling trapped.
If you can find peace inside a structured system, this country can feel like home.
Number 8 is the truth after the perfect image. After looking at all of this, the main point is actually very simple. Japan is not an easy country, but it is a highly structured one. If you value stability, routines, and social harmony, Japan can be deeply rewarding. If you value flexibility, speed, and constant personal freedom, it can feel challenging. Whether Japan feels comfortable or exhausting has less to do with how much you love the culture, and more to do with how well your personality fits within the system. This video was a little different from what I usually make. Instead of focusing on highlights, I chose to talk about everyday realities that tourists rarely experience. Some of these realities may be surprising, or even uncomfortable, but they matter if you're thinking about living here, not just visiting. I'd really like to hear your thoughts. Did you enjoy this more honest, realistic style? Or do you prefer content focused on travel, food, and sightseeing in Japan? Let me know in the comments. Your feedback directly shapes what I make next. And if this video was helpful, please consider subscribing. More real, unfiltered content about life in Japan is coming soon.
See you in my next video. Bye!